Hello future surgeons, I am Atharva, a third year MBBS student and welcome to my channel Skills in Scrubs. Today in the episode 2 of learning basic skills of suturing, we will be learning all the suturing techniques. Are you ready to learn all the suturing techniques? I will provide you with the links for the suturing kit and each and every component of the suturing material in the description. Don't forget to check it out. Oh, what? You don't have a suturing kit? Don't worry. You don't have a suturing pad? Don't worry. I got you covered. Oh, not this. Take an orange, a banana, any fruit can work as a suturing pad. Don't forget, you are here to learn skills and not. There are various objects on which you can practice suturing. Your old jeans, grocery bags, all types of foods that have peels. You can practice on them and don't need a suturing pad to practice your suturing skills. So let's begin today's video.
Let's begin by making an incision on the orange and separate the peel for suturing. Take an incision so that the orange peel is separated from the orange and not too deep to puncture the orange. Once separated, let's begin by suturing it back. We take the needle at 2/3 by 1/3 junction and take a bite on one side and then on the other side, each 1 centimeter away from the incision. Once the needle is out, we proceed with the surgeon's knot. How to take a surgeon's knot? Take 2 clockwise loops on the needle holder. First and the second. Then pull the other end of the thread through the loops and pull the two ends away from each other. This will adhere the two ends together. Then take an anti-clockwise loop on the holder and pull the end through it. Then, by taking a clockwise loop, we complete the surgeon's knot here. This completes a secure, simple interrupted suture on an orange peel. Now, once we are done, we will cut the extra suture material and the knot is completed. Now we will learn the same simple interrupted suture on a suturing pad. We hold the needle at 2/3 1/3 junction and we begin the suture by picking up the skin fold with the help of the tooth forceps. Make sure to take and bite at 1 centimeter distance from the incision. Insert the needle at a 90-degree angle and rotate your hands with the needle holder. This will push the needle through the skin flap and the needle will come out on the other side. Now we continue the same procedure by picking up the skin fold by the tooth forceps and inserting the needle on the other side of the flap. Now pull the needle out and pull the extra thread from the skin, leaving behind a short end of the thread to complete the suture. If you are a new beginner, keep a long thread on the other side so that the thread doesn't come out. If you can, then keep a short thread instead of a long. And we complete the suture by the surgeon's knot that we learned previously by taking 2 clockwise loops and pulling the thread from them, then taking an anti-clockwise loop and then an clockwise loop completes the surgeon's knot. A simple interrupted suture brings the two opposite ends of an cut or an incision so that they are adhered to each other and helps in the proper healing of the cut. If you are not able to learn the surgeon's knot, here is another try at the surgeon's knot. 2 clockwise loops and the thread through the loops. Pull the threads away, it completes a knot. Then we take a anti-clockwise loop and then pull the thread through the loop. This secures the first knot. Then we take another clockwise loop to complete the surgeon's knot by pulling the two ends of the thread away from each other. This completes the surgeon's knot. Now let's learn a horizontal mattress suture. Similarly, we take 1 cm away bite from the incision. We pull the needle out from one side, insert it into the other side at the same angles and at the same level. Make sure the needle goes through and not into the muscle. Mostly try to keep the needle at the subcutaneous level or just below the subcutaneous tissue. Once the needle is out on the other side, take another bite at the same side of the incision at a 1 cm distance. Make sure to take it 1 cm away from the incision and 1 cm away from the first needle mark on the same side. Once the needle is through from the one side, then again take the needle through on the other side at the same level and at the same distance of 1 cm from the first needle mark. Make sure you do not damage the muscles of the person. Once the needle is out, pull the thread which is excess and we will begin with the surgeon's knot on the other side. This forms a rectangular suture around the wound. You know the drill about the surgeon's knot, right? 2 clockwise loops, 1 anti-clockwise loop and a clockwise loop. This suture helps in proper adhesion of two ends and is very simple and can be used for a proper healing of wound. The uses are discussed in the first video. Now let's begin with the third type of suture, that is a vertical mattress suture. For this, take a bite at more than 1 cm from the incised wound or any wound. Then similarly take another bite on the other side at the same distance as the previous one. Once the needle is through at the same level, at the same line, take another needle bite at a half centimeter nearer to the wound. Pull the excess thread and take the bite at 0.5 centimeter from the wound at the same level as the first bite. Insert the needle at 90 degree and rotate your wrist, not the needle. Pull out the needle and again take a bite such that the needle comes out at 0.5 centimeter towards other side of the wound. Make sure you do not touch the muscles. This will harm the wound and be painful for the patient. Once the needle is out, pull out the thread and make sure to pull the two ends of the wound closer. We will secure this suture again with the surgeon's knot. You know the drill. This suture is best for deep cuts and wounds such as lacerated wounds. Other uses are discussed in the first video. Make sure to watch that. Make sure you practice the suture again and again to get a perfect suture. Rather than watching, you should practice it. Now let's begin our third type of suture, that is subcuticular suture. It is done for cosmetic purpose and the suture is such that you do not see the suturing thread outside the wound. We take a bite from the needle at a 1 cm distance from one end of the wound. Surgeons prefer to take a knot at this end, but if you don't take a knot, it's okay. Make sure that the thread doesn't come away with the suture. You have to take bites at a distance of 0.5 cm and then take the needle out from the same side at a 1 cm distance, such that the needle doesn't come out on the skin and goes through the subcutaneous tissue, that is the subcuticular fat. Once the needle is out on the one side, you make sure to take another bite on the other side at the midpoint of the first 1 cm. This will adhere the two ends of the wound together. In this suture, never touch the muscles or any other tissue below the subcutaneous tissue. These are mostly the superficial sutures and are taken by the absorbable type of suture material. In this type of suture, you will learn about another type of knot. Make sure to watch it properly. We continue the 0.5 cm and 1 cm bites throughout the wound. This will make sure that both the ends of the wound are adhered to each other. Make sure you do not hold the needle at the tip. This will blunt the tip and it will be painful for the patient when we take the bites from the needle. Now, when we are about to close the suture, make sure to watch it properly. Once the last bit of the thread comes out, we do not pull the complete thread inside. We make sure there is a loop at the end, and then through that loop we pull the needle. But we do not pull it through and through. We make another loop through the thread. We repeat this process 2 to 3 times. We pull the thread attached to the needles through the loop and tighten it. Do not pull the needle at the first. When we are about to complete the suture, we pull the thread through the loop. This completes the suture with the knot. You can see that no part of the thread is visible outside the skin. Now, let's learn about another type of suture, that is figure of 8 suture. Take the bite at 1 cm on each side of the wound, which is mostly circular. Once the needle is out, take another bite on the opposite side from where the first bite was taken, such that it makes one slash across the wound. This will form an X-shaped suture around the wound. Similarly, pull out the needle from the other end at the same level. Once the needle is out, we complete the suture with the surgeon's knot. This will secure the circular wound by adhering the total area or the circumference of the wound to each other. The surgeon knot is a simple knot and is a secure knot, so make sure you practice it a lot and get it perfect. The uses of figure of 8 suture are discussed in the first video. Make sure to watch it. Once the knot is secured, we cut the excess part. Now let's learn the last type of suture, that is the continuous suture. We first take the 1 cm bite on each side of the wound and tie the knot on one end so that it makes an simple interrupted suture on the one side. But we cannot stop at this point. Why? Can you explain? Yes, it is a continuous suture. We secured the first knot and the first place by the surgeon's knot. Once the first knot is secured, we will continue the continuous suture. In a continuous suture, unlike a simple interrupted suture, we have to take continuous bites from each side by the needle so that the needle goes through and through, and the thread make sure the two opposite ends come together and attach or adhere to each other. A continuous suture is a very useful tool when you are closing a wound in a hurry or the wound needs to be closed very fast. Make sure you take the bites at an equal interval and at an equal distance. Keep pulling the threads after each bite so that each end of the wound are adhered to each other. Make sure that the ends are coming closer to each other so that the wound closes properly. You can fast forward this part so that you can go to the final part where you will be learning about the knot that will secure this continuous suture. A continuous suture can be very useful in case of emergencies. Make sure that the needle bites are at equal interval and at equal distance and are making sure the adherence of the two ends. By completing the continuous suture, we take the similar knot that we have taken in case of subcuticular suture. But here the knot will be visible outside on the skin. You can see that we pull the string of the thread through the loop but not completely, making another loop at the end. We do this process 2 to 3 times to make sure the knot is complete and secure and does not get away easily. At the end, we pull the thread through the loop and this completes a complete continuous suture. This is how an interrupted suture will look on the skin. A subcuticular suture, a figure of 8 suture, a horizontal matrix suture, a continuous suture, and a vertical suture. Now let's learn how to take out the suture or how to cut the sutures. We hold the knot in the needle holder such that one end of the suture comes out and we cut that end. Once the end of the suture is cut, you can pull the remaining suture out. Make sure you cut the suture properly. A properly cut suture has 4 ends coming out of the knot. First, second, third and fourth.
Thank you for watching today's video. We'll keep learning more such skills in coming videos. If you need any another video on how to tie knots after suturing, let me know in the comment section. Until then, stay tuned.